I am sorry that I bumped your Mass tomorrow morning, but I'm graduating too. I'm sorry to do that, but we felt that the best way we'd do it on this weekend, since this is my last weekend in the parish, was to have the graduation Mass tonight. So thank you for adjusting your schedules and for being here. These are wonderful times. This group has a little bit of history. Where were you 12 years ago? And don't say Hoboken, New Jersey. We have something special. Is that? When we ended the St. Margaret Mary School and began Mary Queen of Apostles School, does anybody remember what we did back there? Come on, Taylor, tell us. There's a time capsule. So I haven't seen it, but it is opened up and it'll be at the dinner afterwards down in the Sullivan Room. Nice little remembrance for those who were part of that, but it's part of the history of St. Margaret Mary's Parish, and all of us are part of that history. So that'll be on display downstairs after the Mass this evening. If the liturgy for this weekend is the Sunday between Ascension Thursday, which was obviously Thursday, and next Sunday is Pentecost. So Jesus, in the liturgical cycle, has ascended to heaven. He has gone ahead. And what we heard here in the gospel tonight is Jesus is kind of like eavesdropping on his prayer. He's praying to the Father for us. I am praying as I leave them. I am praying for them as they go into the world. Now, the world in the gospel is not the globe. The world in St. John is everything that is not of God that is out there. And I am praying that they will figure out, with what I gave them already and what they will get later, that they will become wise and not fall prey to all of those false beliefs, false activities, all of the stuff that ruins life because it's wrong, because it's not rooted in his love. He's praying for all of us that we would absorb the teaching that he's given us. It's not a bad gospel for a graduation. I went to, where I'm going, to Mother of Sorrows in Murraysville, they don't have technology up on the wall. I am really bummed out about this. So it'll take about 2 weeks. No, I don't know. But I want to use ours a little bit in my last crack at you tonight. And I went to, don't put it up yet, but we're going to go back to your youth. And I want to tell me if you can identify what this is. Since you're geniuses, are you not? I hope. Okay. Let's go through the whole round of them. Next. 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 What is that? It's not in the Bible. The little engine that could. As I was preparing for this weekend, because I have to say goodbye to the parish and all the masses, I was also thinking of you. And this, for some reason, this popped into my head. The little engine that could. You know the story? Does anybody remember essentially in a sentence? What's the story about? Anybody remember? Hold it. Go ahead, I should have brought the mic. The hill? The hill is too big for the little engine. Yeah. Okay, so?
So he thought he could, and he tried so hard, and then he finally got over the hill.
What about all the other bigger engines?
Well, they tried to discourage him. They told him he couldn't do it, but he didn't believe them.
Now, do you see any correlation between what Jesus is telling us as disciples and this little children's story? You better say yes. I thought of this because it is a story. How many of us don't believe in ourselves? I can't do it. I'm not good enough. And there are too many people around us telling us that we're not good enough. Not the Lord. He placed inside of every one of us a skill set, some gray matter between our ears, a personality, and a whole package of gifts, raw material that has to be developed over the course of a life and then to be given away. Can I do it? Can we do this? The little engine that could, in a way, is a reminder to us of how this works. All the other engines, she said, didn't help the little one, but they didn't do it either. But this one chugged and chugged and chugged until he got to the crest of that hill. Life is kind of like this. That's a story about life. And it is a story about faith. Because essentially, the Lord has given us our life for what? To go get it all for ourselves? No. How much do I need in my life? And what's the worst thing, as I've said this many times in this parish, the worst criticism that we can make about any person, and we never tell it to their faces, it's all about him or it's all about her. You ever hear that? We use that language. That's more of a contemporary way of saying that person is so self-centered that you can't get anywhere with him or her. It's all about them. It's what they want, what they think. We have to watch out for that. That's the curse of life, to think that it's all about me and not about anybody else. Jesus saved us from that. That's the kind of death. If you live a life that's only for yourself, you're among the walking dead. To live is to live for God, and that we translate into living for each other. That's what the Holy Spirit is given to us for. Now, everybody will be saying, where are you going next? I should go around and have you all tell me what your plans are for next year. Now, there is a rather cynical saying, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Did you ever hear that? Well, that's not to douse your enthusiasm. How many times do you think you're going to change your majors in college? How many kind of jobs do you think you're going to have, or careers over a lifetime? Do you have this all charted out? Good luck. We never know what's coming next. We have to be prepared for a life that we don't control, but that we're not afraid of. Yes, we can get to the mountaintop. We've been given the gift from God himself. That's what faith is. That's what hope is. And that's what love is. And those gifts were sealed into us on the day of our baptism in that sacrament for a lifetime. And the real challenge is not only what am I going to do with my life, and how much money am I going to make, and am I going to have enough? Because I'm telling you right now, you won't have enough. We never have enough. It's not about enough and getting things and having a comfortable lifestyle. Nobody wants to be poor. But on the other hand, the challenge of our life is to take what God has given us, that we have already refined and developed. How many people have had a stake in your development as you graduate from high school this year? Could you go back and count how many people, not just your teachers, and not the ones you like only, but the ones that you think taught you something, but how many people have had some influence on your development Better and worse, obviously. It's both sometimes. How many people have influenced you up to now? Why do you think they did that? Only so it would stop with you? Because I can tell you it won't be too long that you'll be sitting here or in another church further back, and your children will be sitting in these benches. And we're going to be saying the same thing to them. And you know who will have influenced them? You, as their parents, first, and their families. Influenced in what way? Deep inside of us is a desire to give back what we have. Our happiness in life is not so much in getting, but in giving. So that the real satisfaction of life doesn't come, well, what job am I going to have? Because a lot of people have jobs and they hate it. They don't like what they do. Or they get a degree in business and they're flipping hamburgers. Who knows? We don't know what's going to happen in the workplace today. Now, hopefully what we're being educated for, we will be able to use creatively in a lifestyle and in a work, but we don't know how that's going to play out. The point, however, is underneath career is the person that I am, that God made me to be in his own image and likeness. And my mission is to give that gift to others so that their life will be better too. Not to hold on to it so that they won't have a good life, because it'll rot with me if I don't share it. The saddest thing in the world is the unwillingness or sometimes the inability to give the gifts that we have for others, to care about other people. Sometimes we see in the tragedies of life how people don't do it. Then something bad will happen. Then the whole community comes together to try to make it better. And we see that somehow good overcomes evil. But each one of us can do it. That is you, that is me. I think I can. I tried and I did. Those funny outfits that you're wearing right now kind of suggest that you've done the first phase of this. But graduation is a step, that the word, the Latin word for step, walking up a step, is gradus, grade, kind of the grade, gradus, and it means taking a step. So graduation is taking another step. How many more steps are you going to take? I'm going to take one, you're taking one, we all take next steps to the next chapter. Something ends and something begins. Something dies and something comes alive. One door shuts and another window opens. It's always going to be that way, but you've got to watch for it and be ready for it when it happens. And not to be so kind of spazzed out that you miss the whole thing. That's the challenge of being a disciple of Jesus. We're poor little rich kids. He's loved us enough to give us our life through our parents. And then along with our life comes a purpose for that life. In coming to understand that purpose, we go through a lot of hard times and a lot of wonderful times. But in the end it is, my life will make no sense if it is only for me. I'll have no love in my life. My relationships will die on the vine. I'll be a miserable person if I don't know how to care about another human being. I can't marry anybody. I can't have a friend if it's all about me. I can't do much of anything if it's all centered on what I want and nobody else. Jesus teaches us. He does it and he models it for us in that crucifixion. The worst is now behind him. He's almost coming off that cross for new life. He has given his all. And we are the beneficiaries of that sacrifice. Our sacrifices in life are not just to go through pain and suffering, but so that others' lives will be made better because we cared enough to put ourselves on the line for them. You never know how that's going to be asked of you. You just never know. But God blesses us in ways that we'll never appreciate enough in this life. And I want to say to you and to this whole congregation gathered here, and I'm tired of hearing myself say some of these lines, as I leave St. Margaret Mary's after 16 and a half years, it doesn't get better than this as a priest. These have been the best years of my life because together we have come around in this parish and come to build it's not perfect, believe me, and it's not easy, but God has blessed us with bringing us together to be a community of faith. We thought we could, we tried, and we did. We, not just me, we do very little on our own. We do it together. And I am grateful to this parish and will carry with me all of my life the memories of how we have been together. And you see this in looking back over your life. You say, just look at I'm thinking of my years here, look at your years in school. How many, when you start thinking about all the grades and all the people, how many people do we have a connection with over a lifetime? It's incredible. And we are very blessed. Let us be grateful for all that has been given to us already, with the knowledge that it's not over. It's the end of a chapter, but there's a new one to start for you as you take the next steps in your growth and development academically and in school, and as you move into work or whatever forms of what that means for you. We pray for you. God bless you. Don't ever think that you've been abandoned. He's with you. He's with us forever. And he will lead us to where we need to go if we stay close to him. Stay close to your faith. Don't cash it in for something, some cheap trinket that we think is better than that. There's nothing better than this. And we will find our way. God bless you and give you many years of happiness and peace as you fulfill the vocation that he has called to each of you in your life. Would you please stand up and I'd like all of the congregation to acknowledge the class of 2014. Let us all stand now and praise